Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Now, I think in the last lecture we have completed that with Eulerian angles, right? What are Eulerian angles? These are three successive angles of rotation which are performed in a specific order, keeping one axis fixed out or keeping one coordinate fixed out. If one coordinate is fixed out, then we say that a translation motion is absent. Then we can have only rotational motion. Okay. So actually, what we have to do is we have this is XYZ axis. Whatever the transformation we are going to obtain, say the new transformations equation we are going to obtain is X dash, Y dash, Z dash. Okay, how we are going to obtain these one? With the help of that angles phi, theta, and psi. With the help of three successive angles of rotation, we are going to change the coordinate system xyz to x dash, y dash, z dash. What is xyz? These are space set of x's, right? And these x dash, y dash, z dash are in the, or we can say it is body set of x's as they are in the body. So we can say it is body set of x's. Okay, after having some rotation, it will be changed to x dash, y dash, and z dash. Any doubt up to this?
No, ma'am.
Okay, first we are going to start with the rotation through an angle phi, keeping z-axis constant. Okay, this we have seen in the last lecture. How to find out this one? We have to keep z-axis as it is. Z is equal to z1 as it is a first rotation. So we'll say it is z is equal to z1. Then we have x has been changed to say x1 and y is changed to y1. We can say it is y is changed to y into x1 with the angle say phi. Okay, keeping z as it is. And again, I will tell you, you have to imagine that wherever you are sitting, that is your xy plane, and that you have to rotate, keeping z axis as it is. Okay, somewhere in the corner of all that corner, you have to keep it as it is, and you have to consider that rotate like this. Okay, and now you have to write down the transformation equations from x to x1. Okay, we can say it is x1. Transformation equations from x to x1. Initially we have x, y, z. Now we have x1, y1, z1. Okay. So how we are going to write down these transformation equations? First we have to write it as x1 is equal to, then y1 is equal to, then z1 is equal to. Okay. For x1 is equal to, we have to write down this in terms of x, y, and z. Okay. So what is the relation? Uh, or what is an angle between x and x1 that we have seen? Can anyone tell me? What is an angle between x and x1?
Phi.
phi, because
Phi.
angle between x and x1 here you can see is phi, and now we are writing in terms of this direction cosine, so we can write it as cos phi plus angle between x1 and y. You can see here angle between x1 and y. Angle between x1 y1 हे काय असणार आहे 90 degree, because we know that xyz is a 3D space as well as x1 y1 z1 is a new 3D space. Okay, so angle between xy yz and xz all are 90 degree. या सगळ्यामध्ये angle 90 degree असणार आहे, right? So here also we have angle between x1 y1 y1 z1 x1 z1 is 90 degree. Okay, because these are our 3D spaces. So what is an angle between x1 and y? So for that first we'll find out angle between x1 y1 is 90 plus this one. So we can write this as cos of 90 plus phi, correct? Angle between x1 and z. Since we know that z is nothing but z1. So what is an angle between x1 and z1? Here you cannot see this is 90 degree. But actually we know that angle between x1 and z1 is 90. So I can write this as cos 90. If you have a doubt, you have to ask here only, because this rotation transformation equation for rotation are very important for future also. Okay. Now let us write down the next one. That is y1 angle between x and y1 plus angle between y1 angle between z and y1. First let us write down angle between x and y1. Okay, what is an angle between x and y1? You can see that angle between x and y is 90 degree, but here it is somewhat less, and it is less by 5. So we can write it as cos of 90 minus 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Next, angle between y and y1. We know that what is an angle between y and y1? It is
Phi.
in cosine of phi. And we know that z is equal to z1. So what is an angle between x1 and z1? It is 90 degree. Z is z1 fixed केलत ना. Now let us find out angle between x and z1, y and z1 plus z and z1. We know that z1 is nothing but z. Okay, you should remember this one. Here I will write z is equal to z1. If z is equal to z1, what is an angle between z and x?
90.
So it is cos 90 plus angle between y and z,
Again
90.
90.
cos 90. Okay, so next angle between z and z1, z and z1 both
0.
equal. Okay, so here we can write cos 0. So now let me write down this x1 is equal to cos phi x plus cos 90 plus phi काय असणार आहे?
Sin phi.
Yes, everyone agree? Cos 90 plus phi.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Is it positive or negative?
Positive
Positive,
से
ma'am.
ma'am.
Wait, cos, what was that? X1 and y, na? Angle between x1 and y. Okay, let me write down this as cos of 90 plus 5 is sin pi y plus cos 90. What is the value of cos 90? It is 0, right? Y1 is equal to cos 90 minus 5. What will be the resultant cos 90 minus 5?
Minus sin phi.
Minus sin pi x plus cos phi y. Again cos 90 is 0. Again we will write z1 is equal to cos 90 is 0. Coefficient of x, coefficient of y both are 0. Cos 0 is 1, so we can write h is equal to z1. So now we have got the relation between so here we got the relation between xyz and x1, y1, z1. Just like we know that z is equal to z1, we have fixed out the z coordinate, z axis. So hence, if you are going to fix out the z-axis, we will get this type of equation. This is obtained by having the rotation through an angle phi. Okay. Now let me name it. Rather, we can write this in the form of Ax is equal to b, which we can write it as, say, x1 is equals to some matrix d into x. That means a transformation from x to x1. What will be the matrix d, which I will write here. You can understand here. This is what x y z which we are knowing. So with the help of these known terms x y z, we can find out the unknown terms, that is x1, y1, and z1 with the help of this matrix. Now we have to write down the coefficients of x y z so that we can get a matrix D. Right? Now, what are the coefficient of x is cos x, cos pi. Next coefficient is sin pi, and coefficient of z is 0. Again minus sin pi, cos pi 0. Again here you can write it as 0, 0, 1. So this is what a transformation matrix obtained in case of a rotation through an angle theta, that is the transformation from say x to x1. Okay, now let us go for the transformation or the rotation through an angle. Have you understood up to this step?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me name it as say equation 1 because all the equations we have to combine. Um, Let us go for the second one, rotation theta. If you want to have a rotation through an angle theta, we will perform rotation about the x-axis. That means we are not going to change x-axis. Now, initially it was x-axis, but now it is x1. So we will perform a rotation through an, or we are going to perform rotation by fixing the x1. Okay. Getting me how to fix x1 now? Let me
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me draw the sketch so that you can understand how to find out the rotation. Fixing x1, right? What was our image initially? It was our x, y, z, right? Later on it was say x1. Okay, here we have z now. Z is equal to z1 we have written. And this x is transformed to x1, y is transformed to y1. ओके, हे आधीच आहे ना ट्रान्सफॉर्मेशन. Now we have to perform a transformation in such a way that we have to fix out a x1. Fixing a x1 means what? We have to find out a rotation by fixing x1 means x1 is equals to x2. Now z will be changing. So here we have z2 and y1 is now changed to y2. Okay, getting me?
Yes, ma'am.
x1 हे फिक्स करायचे आपल्याला. Rotation is now through an angle theta about a x1. So if you are going to fix the x1 axis, so here there will be rotation in z and y. Okay, z1 is changed to z2, y1 is changed to y2. Initial angle was phi, and here now angle is theta, right? And here angle was phi, now the angle is theta. Okay, now let us find out the transformation equations. That means now we have to write down x2 is equal to some matrix, that is a transformation from x1 to x2. Now we have to write down x2, y2, z2 is, what will be x2? It will be in terms of x1, y1 plus z1. Similarly, now here it will be again in terms of x1, y1 and z1. Next, angle between these x1 and z2, y1 and z2, z1 and z2. Have you understood this step? If you understood, then what is an angle between x1 and x2? If x1 is equal to x2, what we can say the angle between these two is 0. So cosine of this will give you direction cosines. Angle between y1 and x2. What is an angle between y1 and x2? Now before that I will write here somewhere the angle between x, y, z is 90. The angle between x1, y1, z1 हे पण 90 degree असणार आहे, right? Again the angle between x2, y2, z2 because these are new 3D space, right? So if x2, y2, z2 is a new 3D space, so now we have to find out an angle between y2 and x1. Yes, can anyone tell me what is an angle between y2 and x1? x1 काय आहे? x1 हे फिक्स केलेत ना आपण, x1 is equal to x2. So we have to simply find out an angle between y2. What is an angle between y2 and x2? Assuming x2, y2, z2 is a 3D space.
90 degree.
Cos 90. Next, angle between y1 and y2.
Theta.
Okay, so here we can write cos theta. A 0 है. Sorry, here we have remaining angle between z1. Sorry, here is also remaining na. Angle between x2 and y1. What is an angle between x2 and y1? Assuming x2 is nothing but your x1, no? So
90 plus 5.
90.
no. What is x2? X2 is nothing but your x1. If you are confusing somewhere, here you can write with the pencil x1 is equal to x2. So in this transformation, second transformation मध्ये x axis है fix केलेत ना. So what is an angle between x1 and y1?
90.
Cos 90. 90 degree angle बरोबर सांगताय तुम्ही. Cos cosine असणार आहे. So now what is an angle between z1 and x1? Again it is 90 degree. So it is cos 90. Next angle between z1 and y2. Can anyone tell me what is an angle between z1 and y2? Okay, here we can see angle between z2 y2 काय असणार आहे 90 degree, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Angle between Z2 and Y2 is 90 degree plus this one we have to add. Okay, Z2 च्या पुढे आहे ना तू. So what will be the angle between Y2 and Z1? What is an angle between Y2 and Z1?
90 minus theta.
Y2 आणि Z2 कुठे आहेत? This is Y2 and this is Z2. What is an angle between these two Y2 and Z2? हे फिगर बघून काय होणार नाही. Y2 आणि Z2 मध्ये
90 degree.
90 असणार आहे. 90 प्लस हे पण ऍड करावं लागेल ना आपल्याला. Angle between Y2 and Z1, right?
90 plus theta, ma'am.
Correct. Cos 90 plus theta. Next, what is the angle between Z2 and X1? But consider here X1 is nothing but your X2. बरोबर ना? Here we have written X1 is equal to X2. So what is an angle between X2 and Z2?
Cos 90 minus theta.
Z2 आणि X2 मध्ये काय असणार आहे अँगल? 90 डिग्री असणार आहे ना. आपलं
90 degree.
3D स्पेस आहे. 3D स्पेस मध्ये हे फिक्सच ठेवायचं डोक्यात. But we have to fix out angle between XY, YZ, ZX is 90. Angle between X1, Y1, Y1, Z1 and X1, Z1 is 90. Angle between X2, Y2, Y2, Z2 and X2, Z2. It is 90 degree. So now we have to find out angle between Y1 and Z2. Here is Y1 and here is Z2. Right? What is the angle between Y1 and Z1? 90. Minus this.
90 plus.
No, it is minus ना. Y1 आणि Z1 मध्ये काय अँगल आहे 90 डिग्री. त्याच्या अगोदर आहे ना हे. So if it is,
Yes, ma'am.
we have to write down it is cos of 90 minus theta. Next, angle between Z1 and Z2. हे Z1 आहे हे Z2 आहे. What is an angle between these two?
Theta.
Theta. So cos theta. If you are not getting from this image, let me draw one more image so that you can understand this. Okay, now let us assume this is what x1 is equals to x2 and here is z1 which is z and this is what z2 and here is y1, this is y2. Okay, try to do the calculations on your own so that you can understand it very easily, right? Okay, x1 is equal to x2 आहे इथे y1 and here is y2, this is y. Okay, now the angle is theta, this is phi and this is theta. Okay, now you can find out what is an angle between z2 y2 is 90 degree. Okay, या दोघांमध्ये काय angle आहे 90 degree. So 90 minus this theta we have to write down. Find out an angle between y2 and z1 is 90 plus theta. Okay, let me take what we have done, z2 and y1 now. And y1 angle between z2 y2 है correct. If it is inside then we can write it is minus. If it is outside ते बाहेर असेल, suppose we want to find out an angle between y2 and z1, it will be 90 plus. If it is an angle between z2 and y1, this is z2 and this is y1. ओके, z2 y2 मध्ये काय असणार आहे 90 डिग्री. 90 डिग्रीच्या आतमध्येच आहे ना हे थीटा. सो व्हॉट विल बी द अँगल बिटवीन z2 and y1? It will be cos 90 minus theta is a direction cosine. Okay, now if you are not having a doubt, let me write down this as x2 is equal to cos 0 is 1, so it is x1, cos 90 is 0, again cos 90 is 0, so x2 is equal to x1. हे तर आपले ओरिजिनल इक्वेशन आहे. So y2 is equal to, we can write it as This is cos 90, then cos theta y1 plus cos 90 plus theta is cos 90 plus theta
Sin theta.
sin theta. तुम्ही सांगताय का? Next, z2 is equal to cos 90 is 0. Next, cos 90 minus theta is minus sin theta y1 plus cos theta z1. Okay. Now I have to go back to 12th standard so that you can teach you the trigonometric functions, right? From starting, everyone is saying cos 90 plus theta is cos theta. Okay, 90 plus theta. Okay, let me remind you what we have written in 12th standard. This is all. Here is sine is positive. Here tan is positive.
And last cos.
Okay, 90 plus theta means what? It will come in the second one. Here only sine is positive. Okay, and you are saying that cos of 90 plus theta is cos theta, but it will be minus sine minus cos theta, na? आता तर कळालं का? Have you remember now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here in this case cos 90 minus theta. 90 minus theta means it will come in the first coordinate, then all are positive, so here I can write it as positive. Next, here also we have done this. Cos 90 plus phi will be cos 90 plus phi. That's why I told you, whatever you are saying, I am writing this. Just tell me 90 plus, it will be?
Minus sin pi.
Okay, minus sin pi. Here it will be plus. Okay. See, what you have to do today, you have to go and you have to check out what are trigonometric functions, and we have to find out cos of 90 plus phi or whatever it is. Because if you are not knowing that, I cannot go ahead to find out what is a transformation from x2 to x1, x3 to x2 and so on. Okay. So we'll stop the lecture now because whatever I told you, you are saying, right, it is correct. But you have to think on yourself also. Cos 90 plus phi म्हणजे cos 90 plus phi ऍड केल्यानंतर ते साइन मध्ये जाणार आहे ना, right? And in the second coordinate, all are positive. Or sign is positive. Think on this and you have to tell me the answer. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Tomorrow everyone have to remember this and everyone have to write down on your notes, and I will ask you any angle. Cos 90, tan 90 plus phi, tan 20 to 360, then suppose I want to find out an angle, sine of 180 plus phi. You have to remember these all angles and you have to tell me in the next lecture. I am simply going to find out what is the transformation equations. Okay. This is a homework for you. You have to complete this in the next half an hour because I am leaving this lecture because you are not so much sure how to find out an angle cos of 90 plus phi. Okay. So remember this homework.
Ma'am, cos 90 plus phi is always positive sign.
Why it is positive? Can anyone tell me the reason?
Because in second quadrant, sign is positive now.
So it will be
Positive.
Actually, ma'am, y axis positive असते ना second quadrant मध्ये.
वाय ॲक्सिस हे पॉझिटिव्ह असतो. वाय ॲक्सिसचा काय उपयोग आहे ह्याच्यात? येस, you have to tell me with reason. Cos 90 plus phi, why we have taken it as sine? Why we haven't taken it as cos itself? What is the reason cos 90 plus phi is a sine? Leave the thing of whether it is positive or negative. That we will discuss later on. What do you mean by cos 90 plus phi? Why it is sine, and cos 90 minus phi? Why it is again sine? Why we are writing cos 90 minus phi as a sine, or cos 90 plus phi as a sine? Later on we will discuss what is a sine for that. Okay. पॉझिटिव्ह आहे का निगेटिव्ह आहे ते नंतर डिस्कस करू. कॅन एनीवन टेल मी नाव व्हॉट इज द रिझन बाय बिहाइंड दिस रायटिंग cos 90 plus phi is sine?
मॅम ते ग्राफच्या नेचर साईन्स आणि कॉस मध्ये 90चा डिफरन्स असतं.
90चा डिफरन्स असते म्हणून ते cos 90 प्लस काय तरी आलं तर साइन मध्ये कन्वर्ट होतो का?
येस मॅम, आय थिंक.
No, you must be very sure about whatever you are telling. Okay, that's why I told you take a half an hour at least, because these are the things we have studied in the 12th standard. These are the basic things in mathematics.
Ma'am, cos plus 90, cos into bracket 90 plus phi चा expansion cos a into cos b minus.
No, I am not asking about the
तसं
formula.
जर expansion केलं.
Okay, what I am saying, why we have to write like this? No doubt you can give the proof with the help of formula cos of a plus b, right? But we have written these formulas before that c plus d or a plus b formulas. Okay. Think on this and tell me what is the correct answer, because initially you have told me that cos of 90 plus phi is a plus sine phi. Later on, if I have changed it to minus, then also you have agreed with me. Okay. If you are knowing the answer, you should say that no, it is plus only. Right? Why you don't say this? Because you are itself confused with this. Okay, you must be sure with the answers. You must be ready with why. Why this we have to write with the help of cos 90 plus phi is a sine. Okay. And then in the next lecture, we will see what is a transformation equation for from x1 to x to x1, x1 to x2, and x2 to x3. Okay. Do your homework, and then we'll see in the next lecture. Okay. Thank you. You can leave the meeting.
मॅम प्रॅक्टिकल होणार आहे का?